I got a new mic lapel and I'm testing out the sound recording on my iPad. I'm in my spare bedroom slash office slash music room, and I want to just chat while folding a pile of laundry that I have over here and also on the chair over there. And yeah, I need to do this because it's been a while since I actually cleaned up this room, since I had guests over all the way in July over a month ago, and it's almost September right now. So I just been putting all my clean laundry on the mattress that I had on the floor. This is a corduroy beanbag that rolls up into a beanbag, but I need to roll up again. And you could unroll it to be kind of like a floor mattress. And so I had my guest, sleep on it and test it out. So I'll do a little mini review of it as well and go like through the setup of how I roll it up alone and stuff it taco style into the beanbag cover. So yeah, we're gonna try to give myself 30 minutes for folding the clothes. Some of this is actually already folded. I just didn't put it away, so I just decided to throw it on the bed. But we'll go through this as well. And I thought I'd just chat about kind of whatever's on my mind and the plans I have for this channel. So I've kind of been posting a lot of random things, a lot of finance things recently, and this particular channel, uh, I kind of wanted to post things that I thought would be helpful to maybe a younger me or my children in the future. And it's really weird. It's kind of morbid thinking because, like, after going through my cancer journey and seeing how there were other content creators that unfortunately passed away, um, that I was following that passed away from cancer, specifically in the year 2022 is when I started this channel. I was thinking, what if I were to have children and I somehow perished while they were little, and so I wouldn't be able to impart any of my wisdom to them as a mom. And it's really more to think about. It's not really something I'm really worried about today because I am very healthy right now. I'm happy to say that my cancer, I haven't had to think about it really much in the last year or two after I had my 5 year checkup, and the doctor said, "Congrats, you're in the clear. You never have to see us again." But there were a couple important things I wanted to just like impart wisdom on. Whether it's like, I don't know if other people would find it helpful, but I thought it would be helpful at least for like something I would want to share and pass on with my children. And one of those was like finance. So I started posting a lot of finance related videos when I started this channel, and just being smart with money, which is, I think, is, if I say so myself, is one of my strengths. Now, I'm not perfect, and it's not something that I preach to everybody, as personal finance is something that is definitely a personal journey. Um, but I've had, a couple friends come ask me for my advice and take on things, um, and I find that I think I've been really responsible of where I've been, but at the same time, I've been able to enjoy life with how I've treated my finances. So that's the thing I wanted to share with. Um, Other stuff, my passion is definitely cooking. So cooking stuff, growing up, I don't know, my parents might come across this video, and it's weird to think that my future kids, I expect them to come across this video if I decide to keep the videos up, if I when I decide to have kids and they grow up to be older. But growing up, I think that uh cooking is something that I didn't really learn as much as maybe I wanted to from my parents, in the kitchen. Uh, my heritage is Laotian, so my parents uh, were refugees and escaped their country in the 70s and came to the US in the 70s from the country of Laos. And their food is so bomb. It's amazing. And my mom's cooking is so good. And my dad can cook too, but my mom's cooking is so good. I've been to a couple Lao restaurants, eaten other Lao food, and well, they're amazing as well. Nothing compares to my mom's cooking. But the thing is, I didn't really learn much about cooking from her. Maybe the main thing I learned was like how to cook sticky rice, which is definitely something I'm proud that I know how to do, because that involves a lot of very unique things that are unique to our culture and customs in Laos, like knowing how to cook, how to soak, how to um, flip the sticky rice and everything. I've been trying to fold this like sheet for the longest time. It's not happening sitting down. At least I know how to make sticky rice. I'm very proud of that. But everything else, like Lao papaya salad, um, gang no mai, all that stuff, kao bia, kao bun. I wish I knew how to make those. And luckily, there are YouTubers like Sang and others out there that are making great tutorials on how to cook those. So that's something that I can look to for guidance, and I'm so thankful to YouTube about that. But just like my cooking style in general, that's something I just wanted to share, even though I'm not always the best cook and I'm always still learning things. But just sharing my own processes sometimes, even though it's not like the best quality video and stuff, is another thing I want to share. So, finance, cooking. And the other thing is just like growing up as like a girl in general, just like different things, imparting some wisdom with relationships and just maybe even like health and beauty, because that's something I grew up with. And yeah, I think, if I were to have a daughter in the future, that's something they don't necessarily have to learn from me, because I didn't really learn much of it from my mother. My mother's great, but I think there's just some things where we don't talk about. And I think that's very normal for Asian Americans, especially like personal kind of stuff, don't talk about much. But so I learned stuff from YouTube growing up, and I'm sure my kids will be able to do that too without me making videos. But there's just some things that I don't see much uh, about like relationships and stuff. And again, definitely don't have the perfect track record with relationships, but that's something I want to talk about more, especially when I read like different Reddit threads with like the relationship Reddit threads for specifically catered to young girls, and they ask questions like, should I stay or leave my relationship and stuff. And I just want to share my own experience with that, because I do have experience with I maybe admittedly a lot of relationships. But and this is something I was talking with EPS, my boyfriend, who I call EPS on this channel, and my gaming channel. Um, that like, is it okay if I talk about relationships and like maybe a little bit of our relationship, how we met, and like my previous relationships and stuff? And he was like, go for it. So, I think relationships and grown up, especially as a girl, but just like relationships with people as a human being and how I approach things in life. Maybe I wanted to share a little bit about that as well. But yeah, that's kind of like the plans for this channel. I wanted to talk to. Um, Attempted to fold it fitted sheet again. That one for some reason took a lot faster than the regular sheet, so it's not perfect, but I made a video of like trying to fold this into perfect little squares, and I kind of force it. So we're gonna force it, and there we go. But So that's just the plans I have for this channel. It When I first started the channel, I named it Linda Finance because I thought I was going to concentrate on things mostly finance, but now it's just Linda Says Things. Linda Says Things is a name because I talk a lot for sure. Particularly today, uh, I wanted to get out of the house because I feel like working from home, I've kind of just been stuck and feeling a little bit in a rut where maybe stuck in bed all day. And I've talked to this about my therapist, and I've been seeing therapy a little bit more and just trying to start that up and actually trying to budget for therapy more. And it's been really helpful. So that when you're stuck in bed all day, she did make me realize it is when you choose to do that all day for multiple days in a row, it is a form of self destruction. And that's something that not a lot of people talk about. That's really the first time I've heard a thing like that. But I realized that she is so right. It definitely is something where you don't see it as a form of self destruction because it doesn't necessarily uh, have any pain involved or associated with it. And at least for me, it's like you see your bed as so comfy and, you know, a safe space. It's like, why would it ever be painful? But then I started to see things in my own physical health that were concerning and stuff where when I would start to take walks or start to um, get out of bed, I would have, I feel like I was getting this chronic pain, like with sciatica or like my legs feeling numb. Even if I was sitting in an office chair for 30 minutes, my leg would go numb. And then next thing you know, I would be like kind of writhing on the floor, crawling on the floor, trying to like get it to go unnumb so I could like resume my workday. And even just like running around trying to play with my niece and nephew, they would be wanting me to run around with them, and then midway through I would have to be my leg, I would get a cramp or my leg would fall asleep, and I'd be like, sorry, Auntie can't run with you. Auntie has to take a break. And it's embarrassing because I'm still very young, and I don't didn't really have to deal with chronic pain in the past ever. And you know, I've played sports in the past fine, and but I realized like laying in bed that much, um, yeah, it definitely atrophies your muscles, and it's just kind of a cycle, right? So the more you lay in the bed, the more you want to lay in bed, and just like the more sedentary you feel, and that contributes to the feeling of, well, depression and just the feeling of feeling down. So that's something I've had to kind of wrestle with and come to terms with. Of course, there's many different factors that go into there, but it doesn't help that working from home kind of has enabled me into that habit. So, and I always tell myself, like, yeah, go, I need to go out and, you know, take a walk, or I just need to get out of the environment. And I feel so fortunate that I have like a separate office where I could go to and work, so I don't have to work in the same room. But even that hasn't helped. So it's just like it's just kind of it's kind of a conscious choice I have to make for myself, because if there's no one pushing me to, if there's no consequences to staying in bed, then it's easy to stay in bed. But that's something that I've been trying to improve on. And so today was like one of those first steps in a while where, I mean, I've been, the past few weeks, I've been trying to go for walks around the neighborhood. And I met with another gal friend, and EPS has been trying to keep me accountable to like texting me throughout the day, like, are you still in bed? Or like, I'll text him throughout the day saying, okay, I got up to do this and that. And then another friend of mine was like, let's be accountability partners together. Like, I'll text throughout the day and be like, I'm going for a walk, or I'm taking my dog for a walk. Do you want to start walking too? So I've been trying to embrace that more. But today was like the first day in a while where I'm like, feel myself in bed again, just laying in bed listening to podcasts on YouTube. And so I texted EPS. I was like, I'm going to go to a cafe. And so I ended up doing that. But usually I would have all the excuses in the world. But today is a nice day. I actually, when I left the cafe, it started storming though, but I left just right on time and I saw that I saw the weather app, so I kind of knew what was upcoming. But yeah, I need to be more conscious of that for sure, because whatever reason there is, like, maybe yeah, definitely I've been going through my own stuff, and people always go through their own stuff as well, but at least for me, I need to just take the action to not atrophy my muscles as much. And so we're going to try to get out more. And one of the things with like my exercise of cleaning out my closet now is like, okay, one of the blockers I had from just stepping outside was like, what do I wear? And I think in a previous video, I mentioned that like I haven't been shopping for a while because I feel like I have all the clothes that I need. I think like as for going outside and being presentable in a way that I want to be presentable, I think I just need a refresh in my closet. And now that I've like looked at my finances, and at least I'm so grateful that one of the burdens, one of the roadblocks is eliminated, which is like, you know, finances. I can allow myself to spend on clothes and spend on new things now. I need to just start taking action on that. But yeah, it's really hard to be able to, I guess, care for myself when I don't see immediate need to care for myself at times, and that's something that um, I think is a struggle for many people. Definitely. So just like investing in therapy more, that's like probably been my number one thing that's been helping me, because a lot of times it's just all mental and anxiety. But also just realizing that, yeah, like I will care for others way more than I care for myself. And that, yeah, that's definitely a common problem. And here I go, like minimizing that problem again, like, oh, that's normal, you know. But it's something I need to be more cautious of, to just be be there for myself, because especially if I want to have kids, like seeing how I interact already with my niece and nephew, I'm I'm not even their full-time caretaker, and I feel tired sometimes. And so if I want to have energy for like multiple future kids in the future, I gotta work on my health so I could be there for them in the future, and I gotta work on my health today. And I think that's something that it's taken me a long time to come to terms with, because I have always like looked fit, and this is something I know is gonna like grate people the wrong way and just make people feel a certain way. But I mean, this is something that I never really looked like. I always was happy. Here's what I'm trying to say. I've always been happy with how I looked, and for the most part, yes, I get self-conscious, or yes, I think like, oh man, that girl's prettier than me, so that's coming to my head, like, you know, that's normal. But like for the most part, I've always been happy with like how I looked, my body weight, and I realize posting more of my image in my face and body on, that feels weird, like my body online, I'm not necessarily posting my body online, but you know what I mean, posting myself online nowadays. I realize that's gonna open up avenues of criticism, possibly. Luckily, I've had such nice viewers and subscribers with like very of my small channels where I haven't had that experience. But I'm just hoping that my image doesn't really change. My self image doesn't really change much now that I'm choosing to post more online. But what I'm trying to say is I've been content with how I looked and how my body looks, that I've never really felt like I had to, and this is gonna like rub people the wrong way again. I've never really felt like I had to work for it. Never really felt like I had to work out in order to be a certain size, or work out or eat eat a certain way to yeah, change my physical appearance. But as I've gotten older, especially, I'm still very young, but the effects of like how much what I eat and also how much physical activity I do, I think it's starting to show like in my legs falling asleep, getting those cramps. Even too much sugar makes like my I kind of have like tinnitus a little bit where my ear wishes, and like that will cause my ear to wish more and stuff if I have too much sugar nowadays. So yeah, that's just something I need to be aware of. I feel like I'm starting to have these kind of invisible disabilities forming. That's just myself, that's just my own, what I think is my own personal experience for sure. um but have to be more wary of that. But yeah, oh, I wanted to talk about choosing therapists, but I don't know. I've been super, super lucky. I've had experience with two different therapists. The only reason why I changed therapists the first time was because the first therapist was with my MBA school company. And when I graduated my MBA, I didn't have access to that company anymore. So I had to go with a new company. And um, yeah, I've been very lucky with both of them. They've been so supportive, and they also tell me how it is, right? They don't coddle me, especially when I'm like feeling extra just in my feels for no reason. They're like, oh, what the fuck? You know, they don't say exactly like that. They're just kind of like, why are you acting like this? You've been through cancer. You've been through all this shit. Like, why are you stressing over something like this? Um, and yeah, they definitely help put things into perspective for sure. Um, they don't deny my feelings, you know. They let me talk it out for sure. They're not mean or anything. But they definitely just help put things into perspective, because sometimes I'm just like, I can be like, woe is me, you know, this is happening, that is happening. And then sometimes I forget how strong I am, I guess, and how strong I've been, I guess. And it's, I don't know, I feel like it's gonna make me cry, but um, yeah, it's definitely something that I am still struggling with. I think just like the self consciousness, or just being indecisive in things, thinking I can't get things done, or like a lot of imposter syndrome, just different things. But then, like, of course, I feel like sometimes I shouldn't need a reminder of this. Like, I went through fucking cancer and I came out the other side, and I was also very strong about it. Not that I'm saying everybody should be strong about it, like in the way that I was, but I was very um uh just tactical about my cancer journey. Like, okay, this is what needs to be done, let's do this, let's make this decision, let's do this. I was very much like, let me get the facts and let me make a decision off that. I didn't There were very little times where I was like wallowing just for the sake of saying woe is me and stuff. Yes, there were times, of course, where like I cried, or just was like, you know, fuck my life. Like, why am I in this position? I'm too young to be in this position. But I think like it was a combination of my circumstances, like maybe because I caught it early as well. I knew what I needed to do, and I knew in the end, I if I did what I needed to do, I would be okay. So I think it's a combination of that. But yeah, sometimes you have to just remind me, like, Linda, don't forget, you're a fucking badass. Like, don't ever forget that. So, anyways, uh, I think that's what they've been helping me on as well, and I want to continue that. Okay, I think I've finished folding everything. Let's check on the time. 4:06. I am 5 minutes over. I'm finished folding everything, but the next step is to put away stuff, and that's going to take time too. It should only take like 5 minutes to 10 minutes, honestly, but we're going to save that for later. Who knows? I might end up just putting it back on the bed to save for another day. I'll update on if that happens. I'm going to cut off this video and then take a break, and then we'll come back for the dresses.